And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Let's get it, boys and girls. We are live. I think it's the first time I didn't say boom, but cheers. MMA Gossip is officially 3/4 of a century old, episode 75. It is a two-man show today. Matt got a new job, so congratulations to him. Caught up in meetings and whatnot. So the show goes on. We got a lot to talk about. TJ Dillashaw, Corey Sandhagen. Was it controversial? Was it not? I know Matt wanted to rip into judges in general. I had no problem with it. You know me. I'm a TJ Dillashaw fan. I've been forever. I was sweating through my chest because last time I saw TJ Dillashaw out there, it was him getting knocked out against Henry Cejudo, and I was there fucking live and had to watch that. So I was happy to see TJ make his comeback. Excuse me. We have like the biggest Bellator fight ever. I've been talking about it, I think, every single episode for the past 3 months on this show. AJ McKee taking on fucking Patricio Pitbull for the fucking belt, featherweight Grand Prix, $1 million on the line, best Bellator fight ever. I'm calling it. I really hope AJ McKee wins. The more and more I really dive into it, like it was almost like people kept saying AJ McKee is so green. He's only fought tomato cans because he's 17-0, all in Bellator, right? And yes, but then he worked his way up to the whole point since the Grand Prix started. The dream fight was this fight, and it worked out perfectly. And McKee has made it look easy, dude. Everyone said Darren Cole was going to be the biggest challenge for him, and then he submits him and made it almost look like his easiest fight to date. So it's like, okay, I guess he is the real deal. So we'll talk about that. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman is announced, so maybe we'll talk about that. Probably future episodes. There's a lot going on. We always say it, the MMA world never fucking sleeps. So we got a lot to talk about. Bellator, UFC. I see one making waves. Gordon Ryan, like speaking of one championship, Gordon Ryan, Danaher Death Squad splitting up. But the real Death Squad, original Death Squad, Gordon Ryan, Nikki Ryan, Eddie Cummings, and Gary Tonin. Gary, that was the weirdest way to count to 4 ever. I was going to count to 5. But Eddie left and went to Unity, which is a bizarre move, but that was a little while back. But now it's like Nicky Rod, Craig Jones, Ethan Krellinston, Oliver Taza, a couple other guys. But it looks like they're all sticking together. Like so the squad split up, but the main guys sticking together. Maybe we'll talk about that. But who the fuck knows? It's good to be back. Cheers to 75 episodes deep. Let's get it.
Yeah, 75. Crazy times. My fault. All right.
All good,
so we got to talk about something because I was like, maybe Paiva shouldn't have got the win. Maybe it should have been a draw. Either way, I think we can agree the judges were a little off last Saturday. Kind of definitely messed up the Barber decision. The Paiva decision was a little off. Should have been a 10-8 in the first round unanimously. And then the main event, I personally have no grudge with it. The first time ever in verdict history that the fight was absolutely 50% on either side. So for you to be mad about, I mean, it's it shouldn't be a draw. I do believe TJ should win that fight. When I was watching it live, I thought it was Corey's fight, and a lot of people in the room I was with thought so too. But I have no problem with the TJ fight. I feel like if I watched it again on mute, there's a good chance I think TJ wins. It's like that fucking close. But Chris, I feel like every time on a week-to-week basis, because we're just oversaturated with MMA content all the time, we forget that the judging is a problem. It's a problem. Like the next week happens and it's a foregone memory. Like we don't think about it anymore until it happens again. We're like, oh, the judging sucks. And then there's fights on next weekend and we just continue on with our lives. What do we do about this? Do we get Adelita Bird out of there? Do we get fucking Tony Weeks out of there? What's going on?
Dude, so Adelaide Bird's been like all over Twitter lately because she's old as fuck. And people post her pictures are like, this is who's judging MMA. It literally looks like a grandma just sitting cage side. And she's the one that botched Canelo decisions. Like she's had some sketchy fucking scorecards. And it seems like every time there's a super sketchy one, it's him. And I know Chris Lee, I've said this previously on the podcast, but there was a span, MMA Junkie posted, I think it was Mike Bond who said it. There was a span where there was 10 split decisions that Chris Lee was a part of in a row. And out of those 10, he was the one judge who scored the fight the other way, I think 8, maybe 9 times, which is insane. So he's seeing something completely different. We've talked about it before, but there's a few things you can do. Live scoring, which I don't want. I don't think live scoring will work well because fighters will coast, and I think some fighters will get hurt. Because if I know I'm down 2-0, I don't give a fuck if I get knocked out. It's kill or be killed. You know what I mean? But if my corner thinks, hey, maybe you might have taken the second round, it was close, go out there and win the third, it's a different type of calculated win. Like, I'm still going out there to win, but if I win the round, I can win. Also look for the knockout. Like they always say, knockouts happen when you're not looking for them, right? Like, I'm not going to go out there guns blazing and just throw hands. But then it could work the other way. Like Usman Colby going into 5 was tied, and then one had it for Usman, one had it for Colby. So it's like, holy shit, if I know it's the 5th round is the deciding round, things change. But I know Max Holloway said he volunteers to actually fight with his fight being live scored, which I think it takes someone like that, like of his caliber, willing to do that and find a willing opponent. You can't do it on just like a so-so fight. I think if Max Holloway was willing to step in the main event and really do it, see how it went, that could work. But I don't know how you would work with the commission doing that as a one-off in one fight. So who the fuck knows? I think the global scorecard is fucking sweet. I know they have a deal with PFL, speaking of verdict. I really don't know. I guess I would like to see a lot more retired fighters become judges. I know Frank Trigg has been involved with refereeing and doing some judging as well. A couple other guys have mentioned it, but the sport is still so young, dude. Like we always say, and it's such a I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but everyone's viewpoint is so different. Like me, you, and Matt argue so much in the group chat. Like we always joke because you and Matt are always polar opposite, right? And I feel like I end up being on your side like 70% of the time. So, we would go to a lot of fucking decisions, but I feel like the right person in my eyes would win because I'm the deciding factor. So I guess I could always say that. But, I don't know. I also would like to see it without bias because I don't know if Matt had fucking money on all these fights. That comes into play too.
Yeah, no, Matt was. I wish Matt was here to just fucking talk, but
I know.
He was pissed off because of the judging. He definitely was on the wrong side of some bets. He went for a span where he didn't bet at all, and he seemed like a happy, cheerful guy. And then as soon as he went back into the dumpster fire, now he's fucking, just fed up with the sport and the judging, So,
what do you think?
I just think that you got to get these old people out of there. If you've never grappled in your life, and please tell me that Miss Bird has ever grappled in her life, why do you have any knowledge based on you can watch jiu-jitsu, you can watch wrestling, you watch striking, but if you never engaged in any of these activities, you are such a disadvantage when judging the sport. Like, if I'm not mistaken, these are boxing judges, right?
Well, a lot of times they are, but it's the commission's the one who puts the judges in play. So they're mixed martial arts judges and they have to pass certain tests and do this, that, the other thing, be certified. But a lot of them come from boxing, just like a lot of things in the sport. Yeah. Like when they fight in Las Vegas, it's the Nevada State Athletic Commission who's commissioning the judges to the UFC fights. Because everyone's like, Dana White, do something about it. There's literally nothing he can do. He does not pick the judges. If it was up to him, he fucking would pick the judges and referees.
Yeah. So I just think you got to get those people. We got to get some sort of progressive movement here where you get these people out, you get a younger generation in, maybe like not super young, like you said, maybe Randy Couture's era where these guys are all retired and know the sport in and out to judge these fights, or get more judges, maybe get like 10 or 12 that it's more like, better than just 3, best out of 3. That's a 33%, 33.3% as opposed to 10, which would be like 10%. You impact the decision by 10% as opposed to 33%. That's fucking a big deal.
You got to make it an odd number just so they can't be like a draw too often. You know what I mean? So I was going to say, I was literally waiting for you to finish talking. I was going to say, I think the way to go is get 5 judges. Because then if one person sees something else, fine. Even if 2 people did, fine. You know what I mean? But not fine. That would be a little sketchy if 2 people saw, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think more judges. So I hiccup because of the beer. I think that more judges would really, limit the outliers. I think that the more, 7, like Rogan's like 20 people, like, you know what I mean? Like have 20 judges. But no, I think like 5, maybe 7 would be like a great number. But 5, I think 5 is do a test run. I think that can make a real big difference. And me, my phone a friend idea always hit. John McCarthy should just be on standby. I know he works for Bellator and he's contracted with them, but I love Big John McCarthy. First of all, he made the rules, right? He literally made the rules. So nobody knows the rules better than him and knows how a fight should be judged better than him. I can't tell you when he talks, when he's speaking, like commentating during the Bellator fights, and telling you what's going on and who can do what, or the ref should do this. And then like 3 seconds before something happens, oh, this is what should happen. And then that happens. He just, he's one step ahead all the time. He literally knows more about MMA, I feel like, than anyone else on earth. So hopefully when his contract with Bellator ends, if there's ever a split decision or a draw, he should be on standby and just be like, this person wins and you win just by the big John McCarthy rule. But seriously, he teaches, I know he teaches the class. Like he's the one that trains all the like best MMA referees in the world. And I think obviously this is if he wants to do it, but if someone like him had a judging class or trained the judges or had some type of say in it or created an actual, like, I know that there's an actual criteria, but even me, myself, I fuck it up all the time, right? Like it's supposed to be like stand-up striking is supposed to be the biggest, like damage basically is supposed to be the number one criteria, followed by cage control and shit and aggression. That's supposed to be secondary. Like that's basically saying like, if they had the same amount of damage done, same amount of strikes landed, then you go here. Whereas like if a guy like, so TJ Dillashaw, for example, is coming forward the whole round in the 5th round, but maybe took more damage, Corey should win. But in my eyes, I scored the 5th round for TJ Dillashaw. And granted, I'm probably biased and I root for him so hard, but he's coming forward the whole time. In a lot of people's eyes, including mine, that looks like you're winning the fight. You know what I mean? Like if I'm marching you down in the 5th round, but you've done more damage countering me, it like, well, Sandhagen style, that's a whole nother thing, like, to get into that when we talk about that. But it really is supposed to be secondary. And I, a lot of times, put it primary. Cage control is big. If you're backed up against like Tyron Woodley, if you're backed up against the fence like Tyron Woodley does, but he's landing bigger shots, 4 big shots in the round, but your back's against the cage, like in my eyes, I'm wrong though, doesn't look like you win the round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's all relative, man. It's why it's such a hard sport to judge, but I see what you're saying. I just thought, Corey was definitely getting the better shots off. But speaking of which, I hear a lot of narratives like Cody, TJ doesn't have a chin. He took a lot of big shots. He's been proven that he's still a high caliber. All these people hating on him because of the EPO. He served his sentence and then some. So literally, that's in the past. Great fight, but I don't know. I guess in the moment I scored it for Corey, but I knew as soon as it was reading the decision, I was like, I am so okay with this if it goes with TJ. Like I will not even be remotely upset or call robbery or anything like that. Not like the Mason Barber fight. Good bounce in my court. Definitely bad bounce from Matt's court because he was pissed. But yeah, great fight, man. Anything else on this?
Yeah, Corey actually said himself that TJ has an unreal chin because those shots he was landing, he said, especially the spinning back fist, put like pretty much anyone out. And he said he couldn't believe that TJ ate the shots he did. So for people saying he doesn't have a chin, Corey himself said that TJ has an awesome chin.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, knock on wood, I'm not going to jinx his chin, but TJ, the only times he's been stopped via strikes was Cejudo, which was the 125 cut. So, that might be an outlier, or the tough finale. He lost to Dodson, and that was way back when, dude.
Way back.
Yeah. So I'll defend him forever, but
I know. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see what's next. I know he's got to get surgery, right?
His knee. Yeah, he's getting surgery, MCL, LCL. So, but they said it's, a pretty short recovery time. So he should be ready. He said he would be willing to be a backup for Jan and Sterling.
Wow.
We'll see what happens, bro. He said he'd fly to Abu Dhabi. He's like, I want the fucking shot. I'll fly there if I have to be a backup. I'll do it. And a crazy stat. How cool would it be if he won the belt again? It's been 8 years since he beat Barao the first time, and this would be his 3rd title reign. Only I think Randy Couture's done that before. So TJ would have had that, dude. That's almost a decade. So say it happens, right? They fight the fall, and then TJ fights in the spring. Granted, say I think if Aljo won, I think Dillashaw's chances of winning the belt are exponentially higher than if Jan wins. But by then it would be 9 years and be almost a decade of time where he was champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's wild. He's been on top that long.
Yeah, man. Still doing the damn thing. What do you think about that? What's your take on that? If Dillashaw fought either one of them?
I think Jan is kind of unbeatable in this.
Yeah.
I think he's the real deal, long time champ, maybe retire undefeated. I just like he beat everybody soundly, and then everyone was on Aljamain, and Aljamain made the line flip to the point where Aljamain was a favorite. And I was like, damn, disrespect is real. And then he goes out there and lands 17 takedowns on Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain goes 1 for 17 and just like throttles him up until the DQ. He's just levels above everybody, dude.
Dude, I was a hater because you were hyping. I was a hater. No, I wasn't a hater. I was a doubter because I was like, oh, his record, Jimmy Rivera, Uriah Faber. I'm like, come on, like, Then the Aldo win was awesome, but then I was still kind of like, let's see. But I mean, how long can you say that for? You know what I mean? Like, how much longer can you be like, oh, the next one? Eventually, you're gonna be right, but you know what I mean? That's the way it fucking goes. Like, the way he beat Aljo, the way he beat Aljo was fucking wild, dude. He dropped him. I'm like, damn. Like, I think that his takedown defense, because TJ, he did say that his knee was really affecting him, not being able to put hooks in at all. That's why he said he never took Corey's back, was because he literally could. Anytime he tried to lift or get a hook in, it was like not, his knee was like, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So I'll take that for what it's worth, but I don't think he'll be able to take Jan down. And I think that if TJ gets hit as many times as he did against Corey by Jan, it's not going to be great.
Jan's got pistons.
Yeah, he really does. I think before Aljo, he's got such better striking than Aljo. Aljo's really good with his kicks, but TJ, I think he would do what he did with Corey and kind of get, just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like flood him. I don't even know. Just get up real close inside kick distance and just not let Aljo get those kicks off. And TJ's got real good defensive wrestling where I don't think he'd be able to get taken down. And I think if that stayed standing, he definitely could beat Sterling. But I don't think Sterling's gonna get past Jan. So we will see.
I am officially off the Aljo train. I know he's good. I know he's fucking great, but like I can't with him anymore until I need to see this fight settled. And after Jan beats him, then I can go back to liking him, because then he's gonna have to work his way back up. But right now, I just can't with him. I just scroll past his tweets, dude. Whether it's something positive, negative, or somewhere in between, like I can't. I'm past him. Like it's bothersome. I can't believe it.
I've been on in my life, I've been trying to be more positive all around. Like I've been doing stupid things to make myself more like fake it till you make it. I've been trying to be for the past probably like 2 months, like extremely positive all the time. Like let things slide off my shoulder. Like I've been really actively trying to do that. And I seriously have noticed a difference. So I was hating on Aljo a lot, but I was like, I can't switch up on him like that. Like I love Aljo. I met him in person. He was super nice to me in person. Sure. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it be. Like, even though I think he fucking lost the fight and took, it is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to hold it against him. So like, I'll still like his tweets and his shit. And like, I commented on one of his pictures, and I always say like, it just works like in funny ways. Like I commented on one of his pictures because he got surgery, and I was like, I saw him doing push-ups and shit. I was like, hope you're feeling better, bro. Like just like a nice little thing. And he commented, and he was like, one of the real ones. Like really appreciate that, my man. Like I was like, that was cool. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah. Shit. Like I don't know. I still love Aljo. I just think that there was a couple weeks where it was like real hard. Like, I don't care how hard you're trying to be positive. Like you had to dig to find something good to say. But yeah, man. I'm still an Aljo fan, but I just like stylistically in the matchup, I think Jan's just got it.
He's got it.
But
all right, before we hit on Bellator.
Yeah, I think our intro just ended.
Yeah, right. Lasted long enough. Who you got in the main event? Sean Strickland or Uriah Hall? Main event.
Dude.
Wait, guess the line. Guess the line.
Guess the line. Minus 180 for Strickland.
Close. Minus 210.
Damn, that's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it is a little wide, I think.
My reason being, I just feel like Uriah's been at the top longer fighting better guys.
And he's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, like figuring him out is hard. And I know this is a lot to say, but he looked he always looks good. Like he's got an insane body. No homo. Oh, that's 2021. I don't have to say that. He's got an insane body. And I feel like when he fought Weidman, the fight lasted 5 seconds, but he looked humongous. Like he looks like the Terminator. You know what I mean? Like that is a scary fucking dude. And he seems mentally in a much better place than he's been previously. So I definitely would never want to fight that guy. I've seen so many fucking videos on Twitter of him dropping opponents or dropping training partners, like just relatively light sparring with like a spinning back kick right to the ribs and the dude just sucking wind. I'm like, bro, I would never want to do that. But then you have Sean Strickland on the other hand, who's just like a sick fuck who says he likes to knock out his training partners. It's like, all right. you know what I mean?
Dude, he's relentless. He's relentless.
And he just got some pretty good hype after throwing a spinning back fist at Orlando Sanchez. So
yeah, and he's talking about like Palestine too. He's putting his 2 cents everywhere, man. He's
psychotic, dude. He's psychotic, and he was made to be a fighter. Like he's like he said he literally loves to hurt people. I was like, you're in the right business, dude.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. He says he doesn't even care. He's like, dude, I don't care about money. I don't care about anything. I just like to fist fight and hurt people. You're in the right spot. I do think he'll win, and I think the UFC is kind of setting him up to win. But he's got a tough task ahead of him.
Real tough
especially because he's hittable.
Oh, yeah. He just walks you down.
He's too willing to trade shots, and I definitely wouldn't want to do that with Uriah Hall.
Yeah. I mean, his counters are fucking sick and very, very nice. But the reason why they're so nice is because he's willing to just eat the punch. Instead of get out of the way and return, he'll just eat the punch and return. You know, like he's looking for the counter. He's like, all right, you hit me, and then I'm going to hit you, right? And then mine's going to be harder, and I'm going to throw more than you. And that's how he wins.
Did you see what he said about Uriah Hall? The difference between Uriah Hall and himself? He said that difference between him and Uriah Hall is he likes to hurt people and will tell you, hey, look, I got a fight coming up. I'm going to try to hurt you. I want you to bleed. I want to hurt you. Uriah Hall will be like, hey, man, let's watch anime after this. Beat the shit out of you and then beat your dick off.
Not surprised. If you said that quote alone, I would have been like, did Sean Strickland say that?
Dude, Uriah Hall, I think it was John Morgan. Someone asked him, like, what do you think about that? And Uriah Hall's like, dude, that guy says some fucking weird shit. Like he was like, so I think it's gonna be a cool fight.
Yeah. Well, we might not even be watching it because we might be watching Bellator.
Finally, put some respect on. I'm so pissed because you know me, Chrissy Bellator. I don't get the respect I deserve on Twitter, but people are like, oh my god, people don't realize how good this Bellator fight is. Whatchamacallit? You know, this fight is actually be better than the UFC card this weekend. Blah, blah, blah. You mean the finals for the Featherweight Grand Prix that I've been watching, you know, with my literally, as Sean Strickland would say, beating my dick off while I'm watching it? Like, yes, I'm very aware of how good this fucking fight is. I think it's like literally a shame that it's not as big as I would pay $60 for a pay-per-view price for this fight, 100%. But it should be. The press conference today was fucking awesome. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Fucking, that was sick. They got fired up. I mean, it's definitely, you know, tensions are high. Like they've known that they've been going to fight for a while. So like people are like online, like, oh, it's manufactured. They're not good. They're faking it, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, these guys have known that they're going to fight each other for XYZ. And now it's just like go time. You know what I mean? And it's $1 million on the line and the belt. You know what I'm saying? And you get the Featherweight Grand Prix belts. It's really like 2 belts, but $1 million, dude. If I have to fight, you know, if the next person that walked by my house had to fight for $1 million, I'd fight to the death. You know what I mean? Like they're not faking it. That's as real as it gets, dude. And I'm fucking pumped. Anyway, what's his name? Captain America, Eric Almacion. He's Cejudo's coach. He's the Pitbull brothers coach. He trains with Paulo Costa, all those guys. Captain America, they call him. He's so brutal, dude. He's like he's cringier than Cejudo, but Cejudo tries to be cringy and he doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll beat your whole team's ass. Like, dude, no, you won't. You know what I mean? I know he's got a legit wrestling background. He is what he is, but like, you know, Antonio McKee, AJ's dad, he's a legit fighter. His grandpa was a boxer, and he's the real fucking deal. I can't overemphasize enough how good he is, how good Patricio is. And I think this is going to be a really good measuring stick for both of them, especially AJ, obviously, because this is like Patricio's the best Bellator fighter ever. If he was in the UFC, he would undoubtedly be like in the top 5. So I would love to see where in the top 5. I mean, he knocked out Michael Chandler, dude, like at 155. So he's legit. I mean, he could pretty much do that to anyone on any given day, you know. He's getting a little bit up there in age, but he has shown no signs of slowing down. So I'm fucking stoked for it. AJ McKee, and all credit to him, he hasn't ever faced true adversity, which I think he's going to in this fight. And I really want to see him bite down his mouthpiece and do it. But like, it's not his fault that he submitted Darian Caldwell in a minute or knocked out whoever with a head kick. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not his fault that he's doing these things to people. Arm bars in a minute, rear naked chokes in a minute, 50-50 chokes in a minute and a half, head kick knockouts in 40 seconds. Like, whose fault is that? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, oh, you know, his fault. No, you know, he hasn't been there enough. Bro, he's choking the fucking Darian Caldwell, like this third favorite to win the fucking featherweight Grand Prix in a minute with a 50-50 choke, which is like a modified sweep. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, people don't even know what to call that. And I think, according to him again, Big John McCarthy called it a 50-50 choke live. And I started watching YouTube videos of it, and it's like a 10th planet sweep where you throw the arm like over their head and sit and like hip up into it, kind of use like a sweep. But yeah, dude, I'm rambling enough. I'm rooting for AJ McKee clearly, but I just want to see, like, you know, like the changing of the guard would be awesome. They'd probably fucking rematch anyway. So that's why, you know, even more reason for him to win, to get to see them fight twice. You know what I mean? Let's fucking go.
Yep. Dude, I love to see you all riled up about it.
Dude, I'm pumped. That fight is so, like, I've been looking forward. I literally, you know, like Dustin and Connor aside, and I guess TJ, and I'm equally as excited for this as I was for Sandhagen and Dillashaw.
Absolutely. No, I've
100%
this for a while, especially because this might be the best fight for a while. You know, next week's card is ass cheeks in terms of star value, and it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So, you know,
and Bellator's got the light heavyweight Grand Prix, like I would say, coming up. Like, it's going on, but the featherweight Grand Prix is 10 times better.
Way better. Yeah. So I got a few bets, and I got 200 on AJ McKee. I got it when he was plus 105. Now the line is even, which I think it should be because it really is a toss-up, I think. And then now let's talk about my big one. Got a big one on Mads Burnell.
I knew, yeah.
I got him at plus 100. Now he's minus 135. So it's moved a lot, you know. So
pull up best fight odds. What was he at the lowest? I'm curious. I think
I'll share my screen real quick.
Because we had texted about it. I think he was a bigger underdog, and you said you were like, I'm all over him. But you put your money where I'm not a gambler.
Yeah,
you put your money where your fucking mouth is, dude. You crush it. Seriously.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well. Anybody can follow us. We're on a public platform, but no, I got him he opened up plus 120, and I was like,
yeah,
man, like I really hope I can get on that before, because if it doesn't get the DraftKings in time, because it'll change before it gets the DraftKings. And I was like, please get me at least plus money on Mads Burnell, and I got it plus 100 on him. I got the email sent to my phone as soon as it's on DraftKings, just so I can place it.
That's awesome.
And not have to worry about it, you know, because I know the line's going to move against me, you know, so.
That was like the Fiziev and Bobby Green. He was like minus 150. I was like, oh my God. I sent to you guys, I was like, I will put my life savings on him. And then next thing you know, he's minus 300. Yeah. I think there was someone fucked something up.
That happens sometimes, more than you think. So, Mads Burnell over here.
Against the decisionator, Emmanuel Sanchez.
Yeah, he opened plus 120, and now he's minus 9 average. As you can see on DraftKings, he's minus 135.
How much did Brett Primus's line move while I'm out here looking at him plus 160? I think he's going to get wrestle fucked, but we'll see.
Hold on. Plus 145 to plus 170. Not too much. Not too much.
Interesting. Yeah. He's super good. His jiu-jitsu is super fucking good. I think he actually beat Jake Shields on a submission underground. I'm pretty sure it was Jake Shields who he beat. It was like super impressive. I mean, he got thoroughly dominated by Michael Chandler over 5 rounds. But I'm looking at the lines now. This is interesting. Like I always say, I don't bet. So now I'm seeing these lines for the first time. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we're seeing Khabib.
Kiefer Crosby. That's what I said. Fighting him, dude. Georgie's got to be 1,000 years old. Oh my God. Usman Nurmagomedov was minus 400 and moved to minus 1,000.
Yep.
Minus 1225. Holy fuck, dude. Jesus Christ. Did you see that? Like, I have no clue who the guy he's fighting is. Did you see that guy's picture? His head is like 3/4 the size of his body. His body weight is half of it is in his head.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? So you think Masvidal's got this? You think he's got it in the back?
Dude, I saw him at plus money and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, Emmanuel Sanchez is, he's gone the distance with Pitbull. They went to a split decision in one of their fights. I mean, he got fucked up in their second fight, but he's getting up there in age too. He's one of those. He was at Rufus Sport for a while. He's one of those guys. He goes to basically all of his fights are decisions, whether he wins or he loses, and he's got a couple submissions in there. But he's relies on his jiu-jitsu a lot, and Burnell's jiu-jitsu is fucking awesome. So I don't see, I think the line move is the right way to go. I definitely think Masvidal should be the favorite 100%. I think it is a close line, but I think Masvidal should certainly be in the UFC. I think he had a 1-2 or 2, like a 500 run in the UFC. He had a tough go and then just, got booed out. But there's been guys there that have done much fucking worse.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that they kind of let him out early. Like, he went 1-2.
I think so too.
He was beating the shit out of Arnold Allen before he got choked
that front
out.
choke, right? It was, yeah.
So I put a lot of stock into that,
I do too. And while we're talking about, I love Arnold Allen. I think he's awesome. He's another one of those guys that just loves the fight. He's in the right profession.
Oh yeah. So speaking of which, I got something funny here. 2 Contender Series guys here fighting the UFC card. You remember Mel? I gotta show you the picture. I'm gonna share the screen again. So we got Melsick.
Oh, the Kosei brothers are on here, right?
Yeah. Here we go. Hold on.
Yeah, I remember the Kosei brothers. They while you were scrolling, they were on Tough. Contender Series, and they both had knockouts. And Dana was super hype about it. And I remember Twitter was like going off for them that day. He gave them both the contracts in the same show. Laura Sanko was getting fired up.
Yeah, and then they panning out not to be so hot. We'll see. I'm not really sold.
Neither one of them has a gas tank. They're just kind of like they throw caution to the wind and go for it.
Yeah, hey, works for some people. Melsick Bagdasarian. Do you remember him fighting on the Contender Series or Colin Anglin?
No, click on Colin Anglin. I remember. Who did he fight?
He fought Dennis Bazooka, the guy that trains with Aljo and Sarah Longo.
No, I don't remember that.
No. Then he's in the corner. He's been in the corner of Aljamain before. He's been in the corner.
Interesting, and he had to have had a good showing because he won by decision. And they still signed him.
Yeah, it was a fucking banger. I just got off watching that fight.
Oh, was that the fight? Was that what Aljo was saying? Was like fucking whatchamacallit? Griffin Bonner too.
It was a fucking savage of a fight.
I do remember that fight then.
Yeah.
And Aljo just posted about it. I remember seeing it. I'm like, holy shit. Now I did not remember the name at all. And I know exactly the fight you're talking about.
So
they just threw down. Even at the end of the third round, they were still just like zombies. Yeah.
Dude, swinging like the whole fight and landing the whole fight was crazy.
Yep.
So I'm pumped. I got a bet on this guy, Melsick Bagdasarian. And I think I got a bet on Ronnie Lawrence.
Philip Rowe, another Contender Series guy.
Yep. That's it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Anything else in the world of mixed martial arts you're trying to hit on?
I mean, I'm sad we lost the co-main on this card. Amanda Nunes is fucking out. Dude, this COVID shit's still a fucking thing, dude. Not to get into this at all, but I actually had to submit something for work today because we're trying to figure out the return to office, and they just delayed it again.
Wow.
And even if you want to go back, you can't go back.
Wow.
They said if you want to, like if you're dying to go to the office, they won't even let you go until after October.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. So we had to submit our vaccination status today. So I was like, not vaccinated.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But
my school asked for that too.
What'd you say?
My place of work asked for that too, my status as well.
Yeah. Did they say anything or they're like, no?
They didn't say anything.
Interesting. But yeah, no, so it just sucks. You know, COVID's still a thing. We lost Nunes. We lost was it visa issues or was it COVID that took out the co-main in this one with fucking what's his name?
Was
it Shamil?
Oh, that too. Yeah, there's 3 fights that dropped off. So Shamil, I'm not sure if it was COVID. I think it might have been visa. And then you got Munir Lazez also had visa issues. What the fuck is going on?
The whole thing with that was weird to me. Like, how do you have visa issues? Shouldn't you fucking be there already? Like, what are you flying out on Wednesday?
Yeah, like what? How do you not plan for this?
I don't know. I don't fucking get it. But yeah, man, it sucks. The Nunes fight, 265. We'll talk about in a couple of weeks, but I'm looking at the card and like for me, I think it's cool. I think it's gonna be a good card. Like, you know, there's some good fucking fights in that card. Like Chiesa on it, Luque. I think I saw Casey Kennedy. Just like, you know, obviously the interim heavyweight title fight, but just from a casual standpoint, that's a hard sell, dude. Like Cyril Gane, no one knows who the fuck that is. Derek Lewis. It sucks that he's like almost they're putting him in there as like a sacrificial lamb because I want Derek Lewis to win 100%.
I know you do. I don't at all. I want to.
I know. I 100% want him to win, dude. 100%. Because, dude, I really think that him against Ngannou would be sick, and I really think that whoever wins this fight, it's unfortunate for Stipe because he's missing out, dude. He's only hurting himself, and it sucks because I am a big Stipe fan, and it sucks that Stipe never got the mass appeal he should have. I still have a sour taste in my mouth when Stipe denied us a picture with him. But I honestly, I swear on my life, I do not take that into consideration at all. I think it's because when he fought Cormier 3 times, I rooted for Cormier all 3 times, but just because I rooted for Cormier against Jones, I rooted for Cormier against everyone he fought. We were there live at UFC 210 when Cormier fought fucking Rumble. We were rooting for Cormier. So I think just rooting against Stipe 3 times in a row, I was like, you know, if you're not with me, you're against me type of deal. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's doing himself no favors, man. And he got underpromoted for sure. But his whole, I don't care. I'm the champion. I don't care. I'm going to go in there Saturday. I don't care. I don't care. It's like, all right, well then I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now guess what? Now you seem to fucking care a lot, Stipe, and no one cares. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It's the hard, honest truth. Your tweet was so true, man. Cruel sport, crueler fans.
Yeah, cruel sport, crueler fans. It's like, do you think that Jones would fight against Stipe?
Jones, he wants the money. I don't really think he cares about the opponent. I think it would be a good measuring stick fight for Jones because Stipe's got power and he's got good wrestling defense, but Jones has everything, you know? So that fight would have been really the best fight ever if they fought for the belt, like the best fight ever. But I'd much rather, like, if I was John Jones, even though Stipe's way more well-rounded, I would much rather fight Stipe than Ngannou.
Fuck, no one wants to fight Ngannou, dude. No one.
Dude, you know what's crazy is Ngannou's gonna get knocked out. Like, it's just
not that good. I said it, dude.
He leaves his chin so high in the air and just absolutely throws caution to the wind. He's like 34 too.
Yeah. No, I don't think his time will be too long. I think he'll lose before he retires.
I mean, heavyweight is like a merry-go-round fucking with the belt, you know? And yeah, man, I think what did Kane have the record for, like 3 title defenses, or Stipe broke it rather with like 3 title defenses?
3.
So, I mean, you know, we shall see. Like, I really do think that Gane is a horrible matchup for Ngannou.
I think Gane is going to be champ and stay champ. I think he's got the goods, man. You don't see a heavyweight that can move like he can and strike like he can and cardio, and he's good against the cage. He's so well-rounded for heavyweight. I just feel like he's beyond its time, you know? It's
so crazy, though, how, like, Dana promotes him for what, like, I don't mean to say for whatever reason. I totally understand how good he is and I respect him for what he does, but his fights are not entertaining. And Dana's said that a couple times now. And it's like the Rosenstruck fight was a literal snooze fest. Like those two heavyweights fought for 25 minutes. And if those guys sat down a shirt and tie, I would have thought they were at a press conference. You know what I mean? Neither one of them had a scratch. And then, it's just like you don't see too many heavyweight fights go 5 rounds regularly. And Dana promote that. You know what I mean? And he seems to be really pushing him. So he clearly likes him a lot. He sees something in him too, you know?
Yeah. And I totally get what you're saying. It's not like fantasy, but like for him to shut down Rosenstruck and basically
And Volkov
beat the shit out of Volkov for 5 rounds, like I don't know. That's pretty fucking impressive. I think that's way more than Derek Lewis offers, barring a heavy knockout. You know what I'm saying?
Derek Lewis just has, the entertainment aspect, which I think is so fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like he's hilarious. Dude, he really is he's fucking so funny. And I think that weighs a lot. Like I remember we were there live for that too. When that was when you dropped your beer all over the place at UFC 230 when Cormier choked his ass out. I literally don't remember the main event at all. Like I've seen it on TV a ton of times, but like as far as being there live, dude, we were doing fucking Irish car bombs at like 3:00 in the afternoon. Dude, I handed you a beer and you literally just dropped it on the ground.
Yep. There's a picture somewhere of me with it dropped on. I don't know where it is though.
McKee was hammered. We're smoking in the stands again. That's like
good times.
Good fucking times, dude. But
we got a good weekend ahead of us, bro.
I'm looking dude. Last thing, I'll leave it on this. I see people saying like, "Oh, why would Bellator want to go head to head with UFC? It's a bad marketing move." 2 things: 1, they have a better card. 2, I find myself finding it more convenient. Like I will be watching both undoubtedly. I'll have my laptop up and I'll have fights on TV, or I'll be going back and forth between apps and the TV, depending on the fight. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I'm going to be tuned the fuck in to both promotions, one undoubtedly. And I think it's I don't think it's a bad marketing move because like a lot of fight fans, like everyone on MMA Twitter is going to be watching both. You know what I mean? So I think it's more convenient for me.
Yeah, more fights. Give me more
fights. Give me it. I love it. So
not a bad. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think the first reason you said because it's a better card is alone good enough reason to go head to head with the UFC. Like UFC is always like every Saturday is ours. Every Saturday is ours. You know what I'm saying? So like the Bellator to come out and be like, on this fucking day, our card is going to be better than whatever fucking your card is going to be, and it is.
I just wish that obviously this is the sickest main event ever. If Bellator could have put on a little bit more stacked of a card, I think like obviously they didn't know that the UFC was going to have this lackluster card and lose 2 fights on the card. Obviously, no one in the world knew that. But if by chance they just put on like a unreal co-main event on this card, they could have really got a lot of traction with it, I think. But you live and you learn, Bellator.
All right, good fights this weekend. See y'all next week.